Constantly being exposed to pathogens daily in our environment, in our daily interaction. But the reason why we do not fall ill at every exposure is because of a simple mechanism in the body called immunity. Immunity is the ability of the body to recognize, defend, and protect us against invaders like pathogens, like bacteria, viruses, parasites, etc. Now, the body confers immunity on us through two major mechanisms. We have the innate and the adaptive immunity. These are the two ways that the body confers immunity on us. We are going to be starting with the innate. We'll look at the innate immunity. What is innate? Innate means from birth. From birth, inborn. It's inborn from birth. Is the first line of defense against pathogen. It provides the first line of protection to us against invaders. When I mention invaders, you know it's pathogens. It provides the first line of defense, and it's also fast. Our innate immunity is fast. It responds quickly. Think about when you call the emergency number and they respond to you. That is innate. Is like, I don't want to use the word emergency, but they are quick responders, right? And they are the first line responders to an infection, to an invasion. But they also do not have any immunological memory. After they fight off a pathogen or an invader, they do not remember the pathogen for future exposure. And also, they are not specific. They are not specific. They do not know the type of pathogen. They only know that there is a pathogen because of certain receptors, pattern recognition receptors on the pathogen, which they recognize the cells. That is how they know that there is a pathogen, but they do not know which type of pathogen. So it's inborn, it's fast, it do not have immunological memory, and it's also non-specific. So we are going to be looking at the different components of innate immunity. They can be divided into three for easy retention. We have the physical barriers, right? We have the chemical barriers, and we have the cellular barriers. Sorry about my handwriting. I'm a microbiologist. So we have the physical barriers, we have the chemical barriers, we have the cellular barriers. Under physical barriers, we have components like the skin. Yes, the skin is an anatomical barrier that provides immunity against invaders. It's because of the skin that all the pathogens that we are exposed to on a daily do not gain entry into our tissue. If you want to know the importance of a skin, imagine when you have a wound and everything can settle on that wound because your tissues are exposed. But because of the skin, we have immunity against the pathogens that we are constantly being exposed to. So yes, the skin provides an anatomical barrier to invaders. Another thing is the mucous membrane. The mucous membrane that we could find in the digestive tract and the respiratory tract. The mucous membrane secretes mucus that tries to trap pathogens that wants to gain entry into these tracts. So it confers immunity on our digestive and respiratory tract. Imagine all the things we breathe in on a daily basis, the foods that we eat, the things that get into our digestive system. So this mucous membrane ensures that most of those pathogens get trapped. Right? So the skin and the mucous membrane provides physical barrier against invading pathogens. So the next barrier that we are looking at is the cellular barriers. Under the cellular barriers, we have immune cells like the neutrophils, macrophages. Then we have the mast cells, natural killer cells, we have the eosinophils, we have the basophils, then we have dendritic cells, we have the monocytes. This all forms as a part of the cellular barriers. Neutrophil is a first-line responder to a site of infection. And the neutrophils, the macrophages, all serve as phagocytes. They engulf and digest pathogens and prevent them from attaching to cells. The mast cell, eosinophil, protects against parasitic infections. Natural killer cells function to kill infected or abnormal cells. Every cell has signals that it sends out which indicates that the cell is functioning properly. But when a cell becomes infected or starts functioning abnormally, those signals become abnormal, and it's that abnormality that the natural killer cells picks up, locates the cell and kills them off before it infects other cells. So all of this serves as our cellular barrier under innate immunity. Now, the dendritic cells, their major function, they act as antigen presenting cells, and they bridge innate immunity to adaptive immunity. Why? Because they capture antigens from these pathogens, they prepare them, then they present them to a set of cells called the T cells. So that is the function of the dendritic cells. All of these cells form cellular barriers against pathogens. The neutrophils, the macrophages, the mast cells, the natural killer cells, the eosinophils, basophils, dendritic cells, monocytes. The next type that we are going to be looking at is the chemical barriers. Chemical barriers. The chemical barriers include lysozymes, found in your tears and saliva, complement proteins, antimicrobial peptide, stomach acid. All of these form as chemical barriers. Lysozymes is a form of digestive enzymes secreted to protect us from pathogens that try to enter our body through our eyes and our mouth. Remember that pathogens like corona gain entry into our body through our eyes and our mouth. Now, the function of these lysozymes is to break them down to prevent them from gaining entry. Complement proteins, they're a group of glycoproteins that you find in your serum. Their function, they work hand in hand with other immune cells to fight off pathogens. Antimicrobial peptides are secreted to break down microbes. Stomach acids also try to digest pathogens that might have found its way into our stomach. These components, the physical barrier, the chemical barrier, the cellular barriers, they all work together to provide innate immunity to us. When you think innate immunity, think non-specific. It doesn't know the type of pathogen. Think fast. It responds quickly to the site of invasion, to the site of infection. Think lack of immunological memory. It doesn't remember the pathogen on future exposure. Also think innate. It's inborn. It came with us from birth. Now, these are all of the components of the innate immunity. Remember that we've said that the dendritic cells bridge the gap between innate immunity and adaptive immunity, because it's the one that captures antigen from the pathogen and presents to the T cells, which we are going to be looking at under adaptive immunity. So in subsequent videos, we'll be looking at the adaptive immunity.